or bills. We've got her on the line here. That's Lynn Christian from soulsalt.com. How you doing, Lynn?
I'm so good. I can't get over my theme music. I love it.
You giggle every time. I love it.
It is awesome. I love this. Talking about taking control of your life and taking control of your thoughts. This is something that everybody, think about the inner voice that we all have in our heads, right? And what is that voice saying to you? That's the thing. That's something that if it's saying negative things, which a lot of times for people it does,
Sure.
It's holding you back. Like, you can't do this. You can't do that.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Why would you try that?
I wouldn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this is something that we can actually change, like our thoughts and that inner voice, right? This is what you teach people.
Yes, we can. And what's so insidious about it is a lot of times we are not aware of it because it has been wired in us. We can start collecting these beliefs. We are either they're taught, or we've adopted them before we're born. In the environment around us, there are beliefs about us and about money, about food, about success, and we pick those up. And if they are, to your point, Frankie, what you just said, if they are harmful or hurtful, they are limiting. And they can be changed. It's not easy, but it's doable.
So have you had obviously you do what you do. You're a life and business coach. You're very successful at that. But can you think of something in your past that, the inner voice was holding you back, and do you know where it came from?
Absolutely. I know that my parents didn't know what to do with me as a child. I wasn't like my sister. I wasn't like my brother. And I was taught that maybe I can't have what I want. Because my sister was a normal girl, and my brother was a normal boy, but I was this tomboy. And so I picked up the limiting belief that what is really important to me doesn't matter to anybody else in my family, and I cannot have that. And so I've overcome that through my life.
Wow. Okay, so with that, how was your relationship with your parents as an adult?
Well, toward the end, I was visiting them, but there was a time when I was estranged, when they literally kicked me out of the house.
Oh, that'd be tough.
And I always gave them respect and regard, but I just realized the way they saw me was not how I could see myself.
Yeah.
Because, I talk a lot to therapists about this, and Nicole Lovejoy, a local therapist, she and I do a lot of boot camps with people to help break limiting belief cycles. And here are the 5 that she's identified, and you can see these limiting beliefs in kind of my story. I'm not enough, and you'll probably see them in your stories. I'm worthless. I'm unlovable. I don't matter. I'm a failure. And all of these patterns map into false negative beliefs, is what Nicole calls them, because they come from a voice of shame, not a voice of empowerment or truth.
Wow.
And you said that happens even before we're born, or just as we're born,
Yes.
like our parents and their own issues kind of saturate us?
It's like, in the biology of belief, Dr. Lipton talks a lot about this, and I love his metaphor. It's like having the recording app, the voice memo app, on record all your life, and you're picking up all these things that are said and done around you, and then some of them wiggle their way in, and we adopt them as truth, even if they're harmful and hurtful, because we've heard them over and over.
I'm thinking about like my upbringing and with my parents, and I know there was a lot of stuff, I think, where they were saying things and limiting themselves. So I saw a lot of that where, I can't do this or that. But they were very, on the flip side to that, I was fortunate, especially wanting to go into this business and at 14 and saying that I want to go into radio. And my dad, he especially was supportive. Both my mom and dad were. So I kind of had the flip side, so I remember like growing up and just some of the things that, their limited kind of thinking, like they would say things to kind of hold themselves back.
So they were harder on themselves, but supportive of you.
But they were very supportive of me, and I'm very thankful for that, because it could have been, and I still struggle. I have, the inner voice, like what we're talking about over the years. I'm like, I need to, I've been really good at, but sometimes that inner voice gets the best of me, especially when it's saying negative things to me,
Sucks.
Yeah, we all have a negative voice. Even narcissists will have that negative voice, and that's sometimes how they act out. But we all have something in there, and really that's the opportunity, is how to take control and free up our own happiness, our own self-efficacy.
Now, if you want to find out how you can do this, here's what you do, okay? You text this word, and it's no spaces with it. Control now to 44222. So that's control now, no spaces, to 44222. And you can find out how you can actually take control of your thoughts. And how long would you say, even, let's say somebody's all the way on this end of the spectrum. I mean, like the left.
Yeah, it's pretty low.
Yeah, it's pretty low.
Yeah,
how
higher.
long do you think, as far as you're telling people, like, you can do this, how long do you think it would take a really negative person to change their thoughts?
Well, it can take up to 6 months if they're really hardcore and hardwired. But
Yeah.
a lot of it, here's the secret for both of you guys and all of us that are listening. It's our willingness and our persistence with it and the way we manage our mind. And so in some cases, we're never going to get rid of that pesky little negative voice. We just simply ignore it, recognize it, and go, oh, yeah, that's not true. I know where that came from.
Right.
And so it's not something necessarily that you feel like I can completely eliminate it. Sometimes we do. Other times we see it poking its head up because, again, it lives in the subconscious. And so we learn to live with it and not allow it to have any airtime.
Oh, and it's so
Or if it gets time, it just has a peep, just a little peep.
Yeah.
well, it's confusing when it comes back, right? Because you think you're doing good, you've trained yourself, and you're doing all right. It comes back and it's like, oh no, and it freaks you out, and then
comes back and
almost-
it's like, I told you.
right?
I told you.
Or it, like disguises itself
that.
like it's protecting you,
Yeah.
but it's really holding
See, this
you
is why I
back.
told you not to do it in the first
Yep.
place. Exactly. So you have those,
Sucks.
but you got to be open to this. That's the thing. That's what
Yeah.
Lynn
That's
is
the
saying.
thing.
You've got to be open to
Teachable
this.
and trainable.
Exactly. So again, if you want to text this word and there's no spaces with it, control now to 44222. You can find out information on how to take control of your thoughts. Lynn, you're awesome. We
We
love
love
you.
you.
Yeah, we really
You
do.
two guys.